Welcome to the Mom Mary Show. Today's topic is how to talk to a loved one who is dealing with loss. Today is the 12th anniversary of 9/11, and also the subject is on my mind because over the weekend one of my closest friends lost her dad in a very similar way that I lost my dad 12 years ago. So this subject is just on my mind, and I wanted to talk about this a little bit. Here are just some tips on how to help somebody that you love cope with a loss. The first one is to make sure you say something. Say anything, say something, don't avoid it. Even if you're afraid of saying the wrong thing, the worst thing I think is having that elephant in the room. The person that has lost somebody is definitely thinking about it. It is on their mind. They are thinking about it. And so it's awkward if you're seeing them for the first time and you don't acknowledge something, that they have experienced something. So the easiest thing to say is, I'm really sorry for your loss. And that's it. You can move on. My next tip is to gauge their response to know if you go on or talk about it more. For example, some people don't want to talk about it and they choke up and they well up with tears, and you can tell that they just are done talking about it. And if that's the case, just say, you probably don't want to talk about it. Or you can even ask them, do you want to talk about it? Because you know what? Maybe they do. Maybe they want to talk about that dad or sister or son or child or whatever. They may want to talk about it. And in that case, let them talk about it. Because that is to ask questions. You can ask simple questions like, how are you? That's a really good question. How are you doing right now? Is there anything I can get for you? Or what was the last day like with your loved one? I mean, you can ask pointed questions depending on how close you are with that person. Maybe you could even share a good memory that you have of the loved one who has passed away. If you knew them, share something how that person touched your life, because that is a really, really great thing to hear. And then also give them something. Give them a card. Cards say a lot. A handwritten card, a note. I have this binder that my brother-in-law, my husband's brother, took pictures from my dad's funeral and put them in a binder. So I have these pictures from his funeral, and it was a surprise. I didn't even know he was taking pictures. I didn't know anything from that day, actually. So I didn't know he was taking pictures. He took pictures, and then he put them in this beautiful binder for me. So then this became my dad binder, and all the cards, the condolence cards that I got from people, I put in here, and all the cards that my dad had given me over the years and I saved are all in here. And this is now my dad book, and I have all sorts of mementos from him. Something like this little gesture, or sending a card. This is something called a MemoReflection, which is you can have the deceased person's name. This says, well, it's backwards, but it says an angel named Dick Burt watches over us. You can order a book like my book, Dead Dad's Club. Little plug for me. But there's tons of books out there for grief and loss of all sorts of ways. Journals, buying somebody a journal because they may want to write out their thoughts and feelings. And finally, my tip that I just realized when I was talking to my girlfriend was that it's nice to remind them that they're going to be okay, and to give them permission to take care of themselves and to fall apart if they need to cry, to scream, to laugh, to throw things, to not get out of bed. Because sometimes you just don't want to get out of bed, and it's okay. It's definitely okay. My thoughts and my heart go out to those who lost loved ones on 9/11, and to my friend Lori, who lost her dad, and anyone who might be feeling some grief today.